Hey Divas, welcome to Pink Table Topics. I am your host and good sis, Pink Diva. Thank you so much for joining me. As you're pulling your seat up to the table, please don't forget to hit that like button for me. Feel free to drop down and leave a comment and also engage in our topic. Turn those bell notifications on so that you'll be notified each and every time I drop a new topic. As you know, our mission is to create a safe space for women to gather as a community, engage in healthy dialogue regarding real life issues that we as women deal with on a daily basis, but most importantly, to foster the true meaning of sisterhood. Good morning, good morning, good morning, Divas, and welcome back to another Pocket of Peace episode. I am so glad that you are here this Wednesday morning, taking this sacred time to pour back into yourself. And as you know, over the last few weeks, we have talked about power of the midweek reset and finding peace in the pause. And today we're going even deeper. We are talking about letting go of the heavy loads. Because sometimes the reason we can't feel peace is simple. We're carrying too much. We're carrying too much emotionally, we're carrying too much mentally, and we're carrying too much spiritually. We hold on to things that were never meant to stay. And the truth is, you can't walk freely while dragging yesterday behind you. Let me say that again. You can't walk freely while dragging yesterday behind you. Isn't that something? So today we're going to talk about what it means to let go. And I'm talking about really let go and step lighter into the rest of your week. And in order for us to do that, we first have to acknowledge the weight that we carry. And let's be honest, life can get heavy. I'm talking about heavy. It is some heavy stuff going on today. A lot of us got some heavy stuff going on in our personal lives. And as women, we often carry more than just our own weight, right? We carry the emotions of our families, the expectations of our jobs, the needs of everybody else around us. And also, we carry that quiet pressure to keep it all together. You know that feeling where you're smiling on the outside, but you're exhausted on the inside? That's what carrying too much looks like. And sometimes our load is filled with unrealistic expectations that we've placed on ourselves, unresolved emotions that we've tucked away instead of dealing with, guilt over things we can't change, control over things that were never ours to control. And the heaviest part, we get so used to carrying it that we start to think it's normal. But peace and heaviness can't live in the same place. Let me say that again. Peace and heaviness can't live in the same place. One of them have to go. And you know what? It's time for us to choose peace. So let's talk about why letting go is so hard. Because it sounds simple. You know, people will tell you, like, just let it go. Don't worry about it. But it's not easy. It's easier said than done, right? We hold on because we think letting go means that we're giving up or we're losing control. But letting go isn't surrendering defeat. It's surrendering the struggle. Aren't you tired of struggling? I know I am. When you let go, you're not saying that it didn't matter or that person didn't matter. You're saying it doesn't get to control me anymore. Because peace often comes the moment we decide to stop managing what was never our job to manage in the first place. You know, sometimes we be carrying other folks' stuff. It's not even ours to carry. So ask yourself this. What am I holding on to that's too heavy for me? And write it down and you can go back to it later. What am I holding on to that's too heavy for me? Who or what am I trying to fix that only God can handle. You know how sometimes we be trying to fix stuff and people and stuff, and we should have been took our hands off of it because it's above us now, because it's a God thing. You know, can't nobody fix this situation but God, but we still holding on to it. So who or what is that thing that you're trying to fix that only God can handle? And then ask yourself this: what would peace feel like if I finally released this stuff? Whatever it is that you're holding on to that's too heavy for you, ask yourself, what would peace feel like if I finally released it? And let's talk about some practical ways that you can start loosening that grip a little bit, because letting go isn't all of a sudden thing. Sometimes it takes, it has to go through a process. You can't just fully let go just all of a sudden. So you got to start loosening the grip a little bit. So how can we start loosening the grip? Number one, we have to name it. We got to put a name to it. We got to speak it. You can't release what you won't recognize. Say it out loud or write it down. I'm carrying worry about my family, or I'm carrying guilt about what I didn't do. Whatever it is that you're carrying, write it down, say it out loud to yourself, whatever you can do in the moment. But naming it takes away the hidden power. Do you not know how much power stuff have over you that you're holding on to? Because you're not speaking it to let it go. It's just holding you in bondage. So name it. And after you name it, we're going to pray about it and we're going to affirm the release of it. I release what's not mine to carry. I trust that peace will replace what I've released. And you got to speak that truth over your day. Every day when you get up, make that an affirmation. I release what's not mine to carry today. I trust that peace will replace what I've released today. Speak it. And then we got to physically start releasing some of this stuff. Find something at your desk, wherever you are, if you're not driving, and put it in your hand. It could be a piece of paper or a desk weight or whatever it is that you're doing in the moment, a pencil, whatever. Put it in your hand and close your palms of your hand. And then imagine the weight in the palms. Can you feel what that weight feels like in your hand? Now open your hand. That act of opening your hand reminds you that I'm letting it go. I'm releasing it. It's not mine to carry anymore. Or I'm tired of carrying it. Release it. This is a physical release. Pick it up and let it go. And then after that, we want to try simplifying our space. What does that mean? Declutter your environment. Sometimes peace can't enter because our physical spaces are reflecting our internal clutter. You know how sometimes we're carrying so much to where the inside of ourselves are just cluttered. We're just cluttered. We don't have no room for nothing else because we're carrying all of this stuff, all this baggage. And sometimes your personal environment will reflect the clutter on the inside because I've carried so much of this stuff. I'm so stressed. I'm depressed. I'm down. I'm out. I don't feel like cleaning my spaces and just stuff everywhere. We got to start decluttering our personal spaces, because when we walk into peace, peace can get into us. So we got to declutter. So I don't care if it's your desk. Start small, because we don't want to say go clean the house, right? But start small. Even if it's just your desk, start decluttering some of the stuff off your desk. Pick up some of the papers. Throw away some of the waste that's on your desk. Excuse me. And if you're like me, and if we grew up in a home that we had what was called the junk drawer, that drawer that held the overflow of all the stuff that just didn't have a place. Start there. Clean out the junk drawer. Start one drawer, one corner, one task at a time until it becomes a habit. Just start decluttering your space. Make space for peace. And then after we do that, we want to set some emotional boundaries. Sometimes the load gets heavy because we're carrying other people's emotions. It's okay to care deeply. It's okay to care deeply without carrying completely. Let me say that again. It's okay to care deeply about whatever it is other people may share with you that they're going through, but you don't have to carry it completely. Because sometimes we'll just take stuff and we'll carry it. I remember having a coworker when I worked in the office. A coworker came to me and shared with me some stuff that she went through over the weekend. Some heavy stuff. Heavy, heavy, heavy. And I sat and I encouraged her and I talked her through the situation. And I remember when she left, I felt so heavy. It was almost like she just dumped it in my lap and I was carrying it. It was almost like I encouraged her to feel better because I felt so bad about what she was going through. It was almost like that got in my spirit and I started just carrying that heavy stuff. And every time I saw her, I just felt so bad because it was a heavy situation. And that's how easy it is for us to just start carrying other people's stuff. So we got to start setting emotional boundaries and stop allowing people to come and just dump on us, because some of this stuff be too heavy and people won't ask, like, do you have space to even hear what I need to share. Some people just dump. So we have to be careful and set some emotional boundaries. And then after we set those emotional boundaries, we need to rest in whatever our decision is without feeling guilty about it, because peace requires rest. And you don't have to earn your rest now. Keep in mind, we don't earn rest. We deserve it because we're human. We get tired, because rest is how we reset our peace. Because we'll go through some stuff and our peace is disturbed. So now we need to get some rest. We need to sleep it off, right? So that we can reset that peace for the next day. So again, we name it, we pray and affirm it, we release it physically, we simplify our space, we set emotional boundaries, and we rest in whatever that decision is without us feeling guilty. And let me share. I remember there was a time in my life when I was carrying so much, so many responsibilities, so many expectations, so much pressure. And I just kept telling myself, I'm fine, I'm fine, I'm fine. Just let me finish this one task. I'm fine, I'm fine, I'm fine. And one night I had an emotional breakdown. I realized that I had been trying to hold everything else together while on the inside, I was a complete mess. Have you been there? Like carrying so much and just showing up and just being who you are to and for everybody else, but you are a complete mess on the inside. That's how I was. So I took out my journal and I started writing. I wrote down every single thing that I felt was weighing me down. I didn't try to fix it. I just wrote it down. And as I looked at that list, I realized something powerful, something that I hadn't even paid attention to. Most of what I was carrying wasn't even mine to hold. Some of that stuff was other people's problems. Some of it was old guilt that I had already been forgiven for, but I'm still holding on to it. Have you ever held on to something that you had already forgiven yourself for and already let go, but you're still holding on to that stuff? All of that stuff is called build up. It'll continue to just keep building up because we keep holding on to it. And that night, when I got on my knees and I prayed, I said, Lord, I cannot carry this stuff anymore. And by the time I got up, it was almost like something had lifted, like a burden, a load had been lifted. And I could exhale and I could just breathe a little lighter. That's the beauty of letting stuff go. It doesn't always change the situation, but we can let it go and pray about it and give it to God. But it changes us. When we let it go and just give it to God, it changes us. It frees our heart so that peace can come in, releasing some of this clutter. So let's affirm this today. I release the weight that doesn't belong to me, and I walk lighter in peace. I release the weight that doesn't belong to me, and I walk lighter in peace. Now take a deep breath. And as you exhale, imagine that heaven is leaving your body. Take a deep breath and exhale. Did you feel that heaven is leaving your body? You don't have to carry it all by yourself. You don't have to be everything for everybody. You just need to be present and peaceful with yourself. Stop thinking that you have to be everything for everybody. Stop thinking that you have to do everything for everybody. Just be present and peaceful with yourself. Be present and peaceful with yourself. So release the weight, reclaim your calm, and remember, your peace is worth protecting. Your peace is worth protecting. So thank you for joining me for this week's Pocket of Peace. May this midweek reset remind you that peace isn't something that you find. It's something that you make space for. Peace isn't something that you find. It's something that you make space for. And as we close, ask yourself these questions. You can write these down. You can go back to revisit. Make sure you write these down. What am I holding on to that's too heavy for me? Who or what am I trying to fix that only God can handle? And what would peace feel like if I finally released it? Take those with you. Write them down, revisit it, journal it, whatever you need to do. But ask yourself those questions. So thank you for joining me for this very, 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 very sacred pocket of peace, I feel. I hope to see you here next week, Wednesday, with another moment to breathe, another moment to reset, and another moment to realign. And until then, walk in peace, protect your peace, and remember, you don't need the whole day to change your week. Sometimes all it takes is just one little pocket of peace. Chat with you soon.